Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Better with Becky and Sammy, where things are just a little bit better. I'm Becky. I'm an aspiring dietitian, and I love everything about health and fitness and nutrition. And I'm wearing my school colors. Go Dogs!
Hey guys, I'm Sammy Reese, and I'm the second half of the host to Better with Becky and Sammy. I'm a PhD candidate out of Nebraska, and my research mainly focuses around genetics, and I enjoy savory oatmeal.
For a little disclaimer, this podcast is just for entertainment/educational purposes. So if you have any questions, please contact your certified professional. It's been a week since we talked to each other and talked to y'all. So, Sammy, how has your week been?
My week has been really good. I finally got my stationary bike to be added to our home gym, and I'm extremely excited because I didn't have to put it together.
I've also had some fitness type of goals too. For the next 30 days, I'm trying to be the most fittest/healthiest in all aspects of my life. I did a 5K yesterday, and I woke up this morning like how a mummy wakes up out of the ground, like out of the dirt. Like, oh, I'm so sore. Yeah, and so before we kick off this podcast, it's just about our frustrations, our body confidence, motivations, and negative Nancy. We have a new aspect of this podcast, and it has to do with health/fitness/science questions that y'all have for us. And to kick off our first question, it's a little bit more for Sammy because she knows a little bit more about pre/probiotics. Thank you so much for sitting in your questions. And for now, our first question is, hey, Becky and Sammy, thanks so much for making my week a little bit better. Thank you, yeah. I have a question about kombucha. I was on the gram and noticed that this drink has probiotics and it claims to aid in gut health. I bought some at Trader Joe's and was wondering, what does this drink do for me and how it aids in my gut health? And is there any alternatives that have less sugar? P.S. I eat my rainbow. Thank you for asking your question. I love that you eat your rainbow. Now, Sammy, take it away.
All right, yeah, so kombucha is a drink and it's mainly a fermented tea. So you have two components. You have your tea and you have your active live cultures. These cultures consist of bacteria and yeast, so fungi. And one of the main cultures in it is Schizosaccharomyces pombe. It's a big word, so S. pombe. And pombe is actually the Swahili word for beer. So you know this has been long in fermentation for a very long time. So Schizosaccharomyces pombe is also known as fission yeast because unlike Saccharomyces cerevisiae, that is known as budding yeast or baker yeast where they bud off each other, Schizosaccharomyces pombe or S. pombe actually fuses in half, so it's fission yeast. Now, you were asking about gut health, so you were talking about probiotics. So the probiotic is the active life cultures, one of them being S. pombe, and basically what it does is it uses up the nutrition in your gut health so that negative cultures, say candidiasis or candida albicans that causes candidiasis, can no longer live there. So that's the main purpose of a probiotic. Another great thing about kombucha is that if it's brewed in a tea, say green tea, it has antioxidants in the green tea to fight your free radicals. So that also can help with aging as well. So your question was, is there an alternative that has less sugar? So you don't want to have the store-bought because it has a lot of sugar, you're saying. So my best suggestion for you is to go ahead and make your own kombucha, and then you can look at how much sugar needs to be added. Granted, sugar does need to be in the mix to start your culture. However, you can vary how much of the sugar you need in it. So the way to do that is you pick a tea and you have a Scooby as a starting culture, stick it in the back of your closet, and you're good to go. The only warning I want to give, if you leave it too long, it turns into vinegar, so exceeded acid. So go ahead and not leave it for too long, but otherwise, it's great for your health. I personally drink it. Rebecca personally drinks it, and I don't know. So that's our first question. I hope I answered it the way that you wanted me to.
Yeah, thanks, Sam, so much for answering that question. Sammy is so smart. I guess that's why she's getting her PhD. She's just, wow, she's the brains of this podcast. But anyway, now to get on to the topic of our podcast. So grab a snack, some coffee, kombucha, now that we learned a little bit more, Chipotle, your dog, because Sammy and I are really just going to really open up about how we've been feeling lately after this self-isolation. So, what now, what goals, like, share our frustrations about our body confidence, how we stay motivated, getting FOMO, comparing ourselves to the world, the Nancy's that are in our heads, our positive versus our negative. And so, Sam, I kind of feel like this is like us having like a little girls' night, having our viewers like also the part of like the sleepover in our PJs, drinking a little wine. I feel like after this podcast is done, we're gonna bond like a little bit more.
Mhm.
But I feel like this episode's really going to relate to some of you guys out there. I know I have a lot of frustrations and just things that are going on in our body. And if you feel like you can relate to us and want to be part of our little girl gang like sleepover, let us know either on Becky R Fit, my YouTube channel, my Instagram, and we definitely love to hear from you guys. So kicking off with our first frustration, I guess I'll go ahead, and this is when I know I'm scrolling on the gram either when I wake up in the morning or try to go to bed at night, and I self-consciously like compare myself to other people on Instagram. And I guess you can say that comparing like is a negative aspect that I have. I see all these fit people on Instagram, and I've been in my fitness journey for about 3 years now, and I don't have abs. And I'm just wondering, like, to myself sometimes, like, is my body different? Like, do I just like not have what it takes? But this is where my first frustration is comparing your beginning to someone else's end. Technically, like, you don't know, like, anyone's journey is completely different. And how I change my mindset when my body starts comparing to someone else's body, especially on the gram or YouTube, is Hope Scope. She's one of our favorite people on YouTube, and she said that you are always someone's goal, inspiration, and motivation, and it really doesn't make sense that you want to be someone else. So that really hits home to me, because when I start really feeling like this, I sit down and I really think about what things bring happiness to me in my life. Cooper, my cute little Yorkie, he loves me no matter what I like look like. Like if I fail the biochem test, like he loves me no matter what. My family, especially like my sister, my mom, and my dad, they're so positive and like such a positive support group. Also, like my friends bring so much happiness to me. And like if I was someone else, then like I wouldn't have that happiness in my life. So sitting down, really think about what grateful things you have for you. Really makes it so that I change my negative of me comparing me to someone else into a positive. And so, Sam, like, what are your frustrations?
Yeah, and just to add a little bit to that, Rebecca, anytime you're feeling super down, go ahead and like call me or FaceTime me, and I'll send you maybe like a little meme. We can talk about things, like help us feel better. So, anytime you want, Becca. Maybe
Okay.
not when I'm sleepy though. I won't pick up then. But
Yeah.
so one of my frustrations, some of my frustrations is that I used to be extremely into fitness, and it was basically my main goal. And I was a very small body at that point. And I have other goals now. I have academic goals, I have relationship goals, I have more family time goals. My sister, we have this podcast, which is an awesome experience, an awesome goal. So my life shifted from very fitness focused to doing other things beside it. And with that being, I'm in a larger body than when I worked out 2 a days and I ate very little. So having to deal with going from a tiny body to a larger body is such a frustration for me. And so one of the ways that I like to deal with it is just throw out that old body. You are this body. You should love your body you're in constantly right now. And so some things I do is I love to self-tan. You can't really tell now, but I'm self-tan. I self-tanned, but also go ahead and get yourself a different outfit. It doesn't matter what the tag says inside your gym shorts. You put on the gym shorts, you feel so good about yourself. Go ahead and do that. Don't hold on to those pieces of clothing and being like, I will fit into these with one day. And it just brings so much negativity to you. Throw it out. Look good in your new clothes. I know sometimes clothes is hard to buy, but Goodwill has great selections. You don't have to find like the brand newest outfit. Look good, feel good, you are good, be more happy. So one of my
Yeah.
frustrations, Becca.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. It's crazy how like a number doesn't also define you. And so like go out and buy new clothes, your gym clothes, feel confident. Like I don't want to squeeze into a size small because I won't feel confident in it. Like, you know what? Like that's just super cool that you said that like you looking at numbers like doesn't define you.
Mm-hmm.
And so another thing is when results seem miles away. And so look at it. So you're starting a new gym program or working out at a new gym or finding like new recipes, and your motivation's at like a level 10, and you feel super motivated and you're like everything's great. But then like 2 weeks later, your motivation kind of kicks off, your body hurts, you see all your
Mm-hmm.
friends out there partying and you're all like what am I doing? Like, is this even like happening? Do I have what it takes? Like, you kind of second guess yourself. And this is when I feel like my motivation seems like miles away, and what I'm doing right now is just a waste of time. So when I really think about this, that is my negative, when I feel like I'm just like not making any progress. But the funny thing is, it's like when you're working out and you have a motivation mindset like that, between each rest set, turn on some Megan Thee Stallion, turn on some Sweetie, turn on some Doja Cat, put on
Yes.
your shortest shorts and twerk in between your rest periods. Now, granted, I work out from home now. I don't think I'd be going in working out in my swim trunks or swim like bikinis like at a regular gym. Like, ooh, I'm not trying to give people a show, but like do this for like you. And so, like, like it's just like you feel so much better. You feel so much more confident. Like you really own in and you realize like what baddie you are. And the funny thing is, it's like your results, like you do have results. You just like really got to think about it. Congrats, like you woke up this morning, you put on your gym clothes, you're working out. That's a result right there. You're definitely different than when you're just sitting there and like giving up. Like that's so cool that you can see results like right there. And eventually, when you build up your confidence, because like listen to these songs, it's like, yeah, I'm a baddie, like, and then your confidence like spike up, and you start viewing yourself in the mirror of like, yeah, look at me, I'm thick with 3 C's, instead of saying, ugh, I don't like what I'm seeing in there. So like that's the thing though, it's like building your confidence of like listening to crazy musics and stuff, that also can help you out and makes you realize that you do have results. They're not miles away. And Sam, like, can you like agree with me? Like, what's your intake on this? Like, do you like all these like I'm so indecisive, cuff me because I'm wifey, like,
Oh man, I love. So here's the thing that I really enjoy about the music now, pop music or R&B music or rap music, is there's so much more body positive when it comes to it. They talk about cellulite. They talk about being large. I know there's a song that talks about leg chub rub. Like it's all these normal things, and they're beautiful, gorgeous, sexy, robust women, and it's so good to see that in our culture. And I love me some Doja Cat as well, so I'm right there with you when it comes to like really feeling your music and feeling like a BA in your own body the way that you are. So I'm highly supportive of put on some cool music, feel yourself out, you are a queen. So with that being said, another frustration that I deal with a lot and is changing my mindset to thinking what is healthy and what is more nutritious. So this goes to me with food and it goes to me with exercise and movement. So talking about food first. So back when I was still with the diet culture mentality, if you gave me a 200 calorie store-bought muffin that was low fat and low calorie, I would think that would be better for my goals than a muffin with buckwheat flour and almonds and calorie dense foods and like a whole brand muffin. So in my mind, my old diet culture mind, the 200 calorie muffin was a better choice than the all natural muffin because it would store more calories with it. Something that I realize now is that's completely false. The muffin, which you probably made yourself and you enjoyed making it, has so much nutrition in the butt week and so much good fats in all the nuts you put in it and the coconut sugar, which is not refined. That is the healthier choice than the store-bought low-fat, low-calorie muffin. And it's so hard for me to reverse those things in my head, especially when I'm shopping, and especially when it comes to making my own food choices. So the second half of that is I actually threw out my Fitbit. I used to wear a Fitbit every single day. I used to track every single exercise, every
Wow.
single lift I did, I counted. Now here's the thing, that might sound really good, and I think it's a great tool, kind of the same beliefs I have with a macro calculator. It's a good tool to start with, that's what I wanted to say. but it actually was doing negative things to me because I was no longer enjoying workouts and enjoying the experience of moving around. I was looking like, oh, I haven't burned 400 calories in this workout, so I need to go harder and bust it out more. No, that's the wrong mentality. That's the same mentality that told me the 200-calorie muffin is better. Feel the movement, do some cardio, do some lifting, do some dancing, like go on a hike, walk Cooper if we have Cooper. Those are the things that bring happiness and is longevity to the workout. So that's a frustration that I have to deal with myself.
Wow, I didn't think that a little watch can like control us so much. I still use my Apple Watch. But now I'm really thinking about second guessing, thinking about it and stuff. And maybe I can in a way turn my Apple Watch into like a positive. I have to think more about it, but that's definitely something that we can discuss later.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where we get the title of our podcast, How to Unfriend Negative Nancy. So to Sam and I, we do intuitive eating. We are not experts on intuitive eating. We're currently going through our journey. We're learning so much. And so this has to go with like the food police or just the little voices in our head. So Sam and I decided to name those little voices in our head Nancy's, negative Nancy's. And just to give you a little bit of context, what some of the things go on in our heads, it's crazy that some of the things that we tell ourselves, we would never voice them, because if you said that to someone else, like, you wouldn't be a good friend, or that would be really mean. So here's some of the things, like, that was too big of a meal. Make sure you go off and burn it off tomorrow. Like, you need to run an extra mile or do an extra like lift. I know I've done that before. Or you ate sandwich for lunch, so like no bread at dinner. You can't have any more carbs. Or you eaten so well this week, you deserve that cookie. And so diet and culture, they had a baby and named her Negative Nancy. Yeah, me and Sam are very well known to that. And so this is where I want to tell like that negative that's going on in my head and change it to positive for me. So we're going to unfriend her off the gram, desubscribe off of YouTube, and kick her to the curb, because we don't need no Nancy anymore. So what I do is, you can even apply this rule to even like your anxiety right before a test. Write down everything that can go wrong with eating that cookie, or like everything that Nancy is telling you, instead of telling you that you deserve or it's not healthy, get the skinny version, like you're going to get fat. Write those down. I have a food journal, and the way that I make my food journal positive is it's pink, covered with avocados. I love avocados. And so, for instance, I write down all those negative words that Nancy is telling me. I take my fancy red pen, be anything. It could be like a pencil, it could be like blood, like, and just scratch out each and one of those words. And then you really realize that these words are just mainly like nothing. They're just words on a piece of paper. And so what you're going to do with those scratch out words, you're going to fill in those words with, yes, you can. Oh my God, you're awesome. Congrats, you woke up this morning. Or you look like an extra thick, extra chocolatey, dark chocolate milkshake today. Like, girl, you got it. Or like, listen, if you don't know what words, listen to some of the words you found from your awesome like songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're a savage. And so that's how I unfriend Nancy. Kick it to the curb, bring on the positivity. And Sam, like, how do you unfriend Nancy from your life?
Oh, yeah, let me tell you. So, the thing about Nancy, she shows up like everywhere. So, one of my anecdotes is when I try on jeans at the store, Nancy is in the corner of the room and she's telling me all these things in my ear. And you know what? We need to kick Nancy out, because we don't need Nancy for swimsuit season, because she is there. And let me tell you a little secret that Abby Sharp told me. How do you get a swimsuit body? You have a body, you put on a swimsuit. Done. It's beautiful. It's everything that I need in my life. Nancy doesn't need to be there. So I also agree, journaling is really good, because one thing that you don't realize is how often you have negative thoughts in your head. And when you have to write down all of them, you realize how often you tell these things to yourself. And like you said earlier, Rebecca, you would never tell this to anyone else because it would be too mean. But yet you're over here telling it to yourself so much. So kick out the negative thoughts, kick out those Nancy's, and I don't know, Rebecca. Like, I agree with you so much on this that our inside voice is so strong that we need to combat it with positive voices because your body hears everything. So if you tell yourself, you look good, you look great, it's not just about your looks. I can't believe you answered that question so well on the test. All these positive things, your body hears you, and that voice is so much louder than Nancy's could ever be. So I agree. Let's go ahead and kick her out, start talking more positive to ourselves.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Bye, Nancy. So that's going to wrap up our podcast. Today, Sam and I just talked about our frustrations with this health slash fit like lifestyles, comparing ourselves with people on Instagram and like comparing our like beginnings to their ends. We've talked about bikini bodies, our body self-confidence, feeling FOMO. We've also talked about how choosing the more nutritious versus the like low caloric type of meals have definitely like impacted us and stuff, and also just how to take our negatives and turn them into positives. And we also talked about some of our awesome music that we like to listen to, and you kind of have a little picture about how our gym sessions look now with our twerking and little booty shorts. But anyway, that's gonna wrap up our sixth podcast of Better with Becky and Sammy, where things are just a little bit better.
So, Rebecca, are you forgetting to tell the audience something?
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Sam. And yeah, don't forget to eat your rainbow. On that note, bye, guys. See you next week.
Bye.